Namco, a company filled with awesome titles, a company with a rich history. When you think of arcade games, the first one that might come into your mind is Pac-Man. Yep, they made that. They made a lot of games actually. Galaga, Rally X, and Xevious. But there is one game that's hard to decide whether we can call it a true classic. And that game is MAPPY. Oh yeah! I brought my quarters with me because we'll be taking a trip to the arcade and play some arcade games. Actually, we'll be playing one game. But that doesn't matter because I'm still gonna need a lot of quarters for the game I'll be playing, MAPPY. Not many people heard of the game MAPPY before. MAPPY is an arcade game made by Namco in 1983. It would be released in the States, licensed by the one and only Bally Midway. Now, let's look at this cabinet. This is pretty unique for an arcade cabinet. What makes it very unique is the marquee. It's square. Never in my life had I ever seen an arcade game with a square marquee, because most of them have rectangular marquees, but a square one. That's pretty rare, which makes this game easy to spot when you walk around an arcade. Now, what about the gameplay? The game starts off with the introduction of the characters. MAPPY, a police mouse who's part of the Micro Police. His goal is to stop Goro, the big boss, the champion of the streets, along with the Mukies. They're the naughty folks. Weird name. They may look innocent, but they're as well a bad bunch. They're in hot water for stealing valuable stuff, and it's up to you, the police, to catch the crooks and return the items to their rightful owners. Sounds pretty good and adorable, right? Believe me, this game may look harmless, but don't let that fool you, because this is a really hard game. I'm not joking, this game is pretty tough. That's why I mentioned I have to bring a lot of quarters, because I may die a lot. Where do I begin with this game? Well, let's see. In the game, I just have to say that, it's kind of a habit of mine, get used to it. In the game, you walk around to collect stolen items, while avoiding Meowkies and Goro, the big boss. You have these trampolines that change color depending on how many times you bounce on them. They act like elevators that ascend to a higher platform and go down to a lower platform. Because there's no jumping mechanism in this game, that's why. Heck, you don't have a weapon, despite carrying a club. You can't use it as a weapon, but it's there. How does that make sense? You think it would be a lot easier to just go to an enemy and just whack them with your club. But no. The only weapon that you have in this game are the doors. Yes! The doors! Why doors? The thin normal doors can be used to blockade the crooks, and the rainbow doors create a strong wave that snatches the enemies. Oh, I take that back. I prefer these doors than the club. The only issue with all doors is the distance between you and them. You must be far from them to the point where they don't push you back. What if an enemy was behind you? Well, you would lose a life. Now on to the objects, which range from paintings of Mona Lisa to television sets. If you want to score big in this game, what you do is you collect 2 consecutive objects. For example, you collect 2 the same computers. When you do that, that really boosts up your score, because one of the objects will be multiplied. And you kind of want that if you want to score big, because it does make your score grow faster. The game is built on the Super Pac-Man hardware to allow scrolling, but notice how the screen scrolls. They make it hard to indicate what's on the other side. Suppose you're walking on a platform, right? And out of the blue, a Meowky is walking towards you. What happens? You lose a life. After completing 2 levels, you get to embark the bonus stage. All you do is collect all the balloons and pop the big blue balloon, which carries Goro for some reason. But the way the game plays and feels makes it a bit stiff. But it's not that noticeable, believe me. Yeah, so as you can see, the game can be quite difficult. But it's that type of difficulty where it's fair, and still brings out, a fun feeling to the gameplay. It's not, a game where you can pick it up and play it. You have to test it more in order to get the feel and the physics. And once that happens, that's where the game becomes a lot of fun. Which was a big issue for the US. You see, MAPPY was a successful game in Japan, to the point where it got so many home ports. But 0 the US. Yep, no Commodore 64 port, no Apple II port, no ColecoVision, heck, not even Atari 2600. Not even the Atari 2600! And we all know how many ports that console got. But why is that the case? Well, the reason why is because the game did so bad in the States to the point where Bally Midway, and I kid you not, was nearly bankrupt. How? If a game is that bad, actions must be done immediately. So, what did Bally Midway do? The thinkable. That's right. Bally Midway converted so many MAPPY cabinets into a new bootleg game of theirs called Junior Pac-Man. Because it's Pac-Man, people like, the big yellow ball guy and the dots and the maze. Surely this game would be pretty good. As a result, Namco and Bally Midway's partnership would be defunct in 1983. And the only reason why we know and love MAPPY and find it to be a classic is because of the plug-and-play games by Jakks Pacific in the early 2000s, and the game's inclusion in Namco Museum Volume what have you. That's right. So if it wasn't for these guys, and for the PlayStation, we'd be scratching our heads and asking ourselves, what the heck is MAPPY?
This is the only time I'll ever see this game in person. Most of these cabinets were converted to Junior Pac-Mans. In fact, you will see out there some Junior Pac-Mans with MAPPY side art I've seen before on the internet. This game's awesome. This game is awesome. Wow. It's great.
But I'm not here to put down MAPPY. As a matter of fact, I find MAPPY to be a very fun game, and a really hard game. It's kind of like Super Mario Bros. 2 for the Famicom Disk System, where, yes, it's pretty hard, but it is fun. But how is that possible? Good gameplay, and MAPPY does bring out good gameplay. And the game's not that bad, where it did get some sequels in its life, but those are a whole different videos. But as of right now, thank you guys for watching this video, because yes, that is all there is of MAPPY. Please subscribe, ring the bell, let me see them thumbs up, because I do want to see a lot of them, and stay cool.